What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Quality TV. I'm the host, Qua, also known as Quality, and you can't have quality TV without me. So I got a video for you guys today. It's a reaction to a topic that I don't think that we talk nearly enough about as black men. To fix the problems that we have here, we got to talk about these things, and that's the goal. We got to get into it and we got to talk about it. So here it is, and I'm not gonna hold y'all too long, and we're gonna get right into the video.
This is something that's real passionate to me. I am the executive director of Crisis Pregnancy Center. And in that calling, I see young ladies and young men coming through our doors with a lack of fathering. And when we see that lack of fathering, when they witness a strong male figure, something in them takes place. Something positive takes place within them. And what's interesting about that is that they begin to see themselves in a positive light. Please understand this, that every single social ill that we're dealing with is directly or indirectly related to fatherlessness. Do you realize that close to 81% of teen pregnancies come from fatherless homes? I'm talking 80% of all of our kids that are on the street right now, homeless, fatherless homes. We're talking 71% of the male population in the penal system right now, fatherless homes. Now, these are just a few of the documented stats. I mean, the economic impact cannot even be calculated because it's estimated that 41% of the kids that are in fatherless homes will be poorer than their biological dad.
All right, I'm gonna stop there for a second. See, I grew up without a dad too, so a lot of these things that he's mentioned in this video, I can relate to because I didn't grow up with a father either, but I was lucky enough to have a granddad that was that he had a presence there, but he can only do so much. So at the same time, it was like I still didn't have a father, but I had my grandfather, which is, that's better than nothing. But let's get back to the video.
It is just absolutely astonishing. Now, again, I'm the executive director of Crisis Pregnancy Center here in Reno. And I've developed a program called Daddy Academy. Now, the probability of these young men coming through our doors understanding what it is to be a father, it's pretty dim. Pretty dim, especially in light of the facts that I just mentioned. And so what we've done is we develop programs and we develop workshops that are specifically designated to help them see the importance of fathering. And we've expanded this not only to our community outreach, and not only in our areas of our teens, but we also spread it out in the community. We've got local judges that have grabbed a hold of our programs. We have local people that are seriously involved in what we're trying to do. Now, the interesting thing about this, we've seen a dramatic change as a direct result of this program. I was talking to some of our young ladies, and it was 4 things that they said that they wish they had. And those 4 things, when they grew up without a dad, was this. They said they wish they had protection. They said they wish they had provision.
So I'm gonna speak on that for a second. A lot of the women I've encountered in my lifetime, the ones that grew up with a father figure in their lives, they were, they held on to their values, their morals a lot more than the ones that I've encountered where they didn't grow up with their father. And it's sad to say that, but we do need fathers. If you have a little girl, man, you gotta be there for that girl. You gotta tell her how much she's worth. Make sure that she feels safe and comfortable. That way they won't go out and try to find a father and different types of men. Some younger women, when they grow up without a dad, they tend to date older men because they're looking for a father figure, and most of the time they don't even know that that's what's going on because it happens subconsciously. Everybody needs a father. Okay, our daughters need them most because the way women are nowadays, it's real sad, and you can really see coming from fatherless homes.
They said they wish they had presence and they wish they had praise. Now, I want you to hear what's happening because I've talked also to some of the guys out there, some of the pimps out there. And they said not every young lady is pimpable. But when she lacks those very things, when she lacks those things that would cause her to feel better about herself, she's more willing to do things that goes against her morals. It's unbelievably uncanny, the father rift and the father wound that is so prevalent. We're talking 24 million children right now globally in fatherless homes. So I'm asking this afternoon for you to listen to what I have to say, because this wound is deep. It's extremely deep, and it affects our whole culture. Now, hear my heart when I say this. Mothers, I'm not saying that you're not doing a great job, because you are. But there's certain things that only a father can feel. There's only certain things that a dad can bring to bear. Now, I'll be perfectly frank with you. I didn't have a father growing up. My dad died when I was in middle school.
Like I said, earlier that, I didn't grow up with a dad, and, you don't really notice how much that matters to you until, I didn't notice until around like middle school, and I started to see, guys interact with their dad and stuff, and it was, it was a problem for me because, I wanted a father, and I was kind of jealous of those kind of things. You never notice. If you have a son or whatever, and the dad not in their lives, if they can be in their lives, try to make that extra effort to let them be in that child's life, because all boys need their dads.
And when he died when I was in middle school, it caused me to grope for a father figure. And because I groped for a father figure, I looked for it everywhere. See, there's a deep desire in all of us to have significance. There's a deep desire for all of us to have confirmation. Now, see, I would be remiss not to say this, being a pastor, but Jesus needed affirmation. For when he came up out of the water after being baptized, it said that he heard three things from heaven. He heard his father say this: "You're my son, I love you, and I'm pleased with you." Now, if the Son of God needed affirmation from a father figure, you and I need that very same thing.
If Jesus was supposed to be perfect and he still needed affirmation from his dad, what makes you think that, a regular person who isn't the son of God would need affirmation? We all need that, and it's important that we do our best to give it to the generation underneath us, because if we can fix it this generation, the next generation won't have to worry about it. Back to the video.
My heart this afternoon is to talk to you and to convey to you the importance of fathering. Again, growing up without a father, there was things that I groped for. But I learned something. I learned that me fathering others, I can vicariously father myself. I can heal the father wound in me by fathering others. Now, fathering, I guess you'd call them children or kids, men that are old enough to be my dad that I fathered. Daughters that are old enough to be my mother, so age is of no significance. It's something that is deeply rooted within us, an affirmation that we must have. I will share something extremely personal. Earlier this year, my sister died. And this is a long line of unfortunate siblings that have died in the last 10 years. And this was really personal. This one really hurt. Because my sister was more or less she was like a twin. A year older than me, but she was a twin. And I was broken,
Shout out to the
really
twins
broken.
out there.
And I was just hurting. And of course, my other family members called and said, "We need you here." And so my wife and I, we made arrangements to make that 6-7 hour drive from Reno to Henderson. And my son comes to me and he says, Dad, I'm going to go with you. I mean, I want to pay respects to my aunt, but I want to be there for you. I said, oh, okay, son, I know that I need it. And so we make our trek there, and we get there, and about a day after, we go to the funeral home, and we begin to make the arrangements, and unfortunately, some of the things that my sister wanted, the funeral people didn't have prepared. And I began to get frustrated. Now already, my heart is already broken, and I'm wounded, and my emotions are frayed. But it was interesting to me that my son, Dominic, he says, Dad, no, I'll take care of it. No, really, I'll take care of it, Pops. And he began to intervene on my behalf. He began to do some things and say some things that I recognized at that moment that he was my father. I recognized at the very...
I'm gonna get personal for a second. I remember this one time. I was going through a lot of stuff, and my mental stability wasn't, at the point where it needed to be. And I remember having like this panic attack where, I couldn't really breathe. I was crying a lot, and the only person that was there was, at the time, I think she was 3 or maybe 4-year-old, my 4-year-old daughter. I'm crying and she's right there. She's just watching me cry. And, from the, when she cries and, the love and the care I give her at that moment when I had nobody else, she puts her arms around me and she hugs me and says, "It's okay, Daddy." And you know what I mean? That, like, that's just like what he just said. In that moment, she fathered me, because I didn't, growing up, my family, we loved each other, but we weren't really that affectionate. But in that moment, that was what I needed. And, from the love that I give her, she returned it like tenfold in that moment. And I'll never forget it. It was like the sweetest thing that I've ever, it was just the sweetest thing ever. And, you get that, guys, if you're in your daughter's life, you get that from your daughter, and she'll love me forever, and I'll love her forever. Back to the video.
Things that I were looking for, the provision, the protection, the praise, all those things were coming out in the very one that I was supposed to be fathering. He began to father me. My point in this whole circumstance is that all of us have that desperate need. All of us have that desire to recognize that we're of worth. Now, when that happened to me, it caused a healing in my heart. Because, see, there's a father wound, and nationally and internationally, it's a father wound that only fathers can feel. Now, I'm going to ask something great of you. You fathers, you dads that are out there, I want you to stand up. Now, whether you had a father or not, stand up. Now, I want you to do me a favor, men. Because, see, this is a global issue. It's a global problem, a global issue, a global thing in which only men are the answer. Like I said before, our daughters, they need us. Our families, they need us. They need us. And so I'm going to ask something great of you, men. Now, I want you each to close your eyes. And I want you to do this. I want you to picture the best father. I want you to picture the best dad. I want you to picture him encouraging you, telling you he's proud of you, telling you that you're the best. And I want you to think on that, and I want you to meditate on that, because, see, it's a global men problem, and we're the answer to that global issue. Now, stay focused, man. Now, this is what I challenge you and I need for you to do. Go and be that very thing that you've just envisioned to those around you. because it will change the trajectory of their lives. All you need to do is be compassionate. All you need to do is be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, and you can change the lives of many. To this very day, I have young men and older men calling me saying, thank you very much for intervening in my life when I needed to hear some positive enforcement, some positive confirmation. You may be seated.
All right.
In the mid-90s.
There. I'm going to stop the video there. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the video if you want to go check out the whole thing. It's a pretty good video. I recommend it. I just want to say, if you look at the state that we're in, number one, it's up to men to fix the problem for the generation to come or the generation that's here. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that the women that we have out here are off the hook. It's up to you too, because you got to understand, at the end of the day, that man that you're dealing with, he's still somebody else's child, and especially if he didn't grow up with a father, you got to kind of work with that man and understand that he doesn't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers, especially if we didn't grow up with a father figure. So, you know what I'm saying, the biggest problem that, you know, we as men face today is a lack of emotional support. So if you can support that man, I'm telling you, he's gonna be 10 times better at being a man versus, you know, what's been laid out on the plate for him. Not the hand that we're dealt, but how we play the cards, and we can all play a better hand with each other and fixing that. But I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next video. Until next time, peace, love, and fish grease. I'll see y'all on the next video. All right.